Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are taking a look at not one, not two, but three Spider-Mans. I'm doing this all as one review because I don't review a whole lot of Marvel Legends here, and I've just got so many reviews to get done before the end of the year. I kind of want to knock these all out at once. So I may not get super duper detailed with each one of these, but I did want to make sure to review them because first glance, these could be some of the best Marvel Legends figures ever made. I'm just gonna put that out there, and we'll find out by the end of this review if I'm right or not. So I'm gonna start with Toby. He's the guy. He is the one that started this whole live action Spider-Man, modern day live action Spider-Man thing off. He deserves all respect in the world for what he brought to the Peter Parker character. And actually, I got to bring these back out because I want to point something out that's very interesting. So you'll notice that Tom and Toby both have Spider-Man No Way Home packaging that is exactly the same. And then Andrew has Amazing Spider-Man 2. And while these two both have Marvel Studios on them, Andrew's first of all, the fact that it's Amazing Spider-Man 2, although that's his look in Far From Home, so Amazing Spider-Man would have been weird. But no mention of Marvel Studios. Obviously, Marvel Studios had nothing to do with this movie, but it's just interesting branding-wise that's how they have to do this for some reason. Just something worth pointing out. So let's now take a look at the OG modern day live action Spider-Man, Mr. Tobey Maguire. Look at that portrait. We'll take a closer look in a minute. These card backs, I hope the new Joe Retro figures are on card backs exactly like this, because these are so thick, you could knock a goat out with these things. They are tough and sturdy and awesome. Although the blisters leave something to be desired, because you'll notice this one smashed. This was shipped to me by Target, and you'll see the blister plastic is pretty weak, not great. So let's get this opened up. That's a little trick if you don't know. When you're opening these blister carded 6-inch Marvel Legends, is that you can just stick your thumb right in the bottom there and pull, and it opens up. Because the blister is actually between two pieces. Well, it's a folded over piece of cardboard. So this cardboard started life open. They put the blister in the slot, close it, seal it, and that's how it works. And I don't know if you really needed that explanation, but maybe it's helpful for somebody who didn't realize, oh, you can just peel it open. Gosh, this looks great. So I loved No Way Home. It was a huge movie, not just for me, but for my family, because the whole family pretty much loved it equally. And I think all three of us kind of thought that Spider-Man would never reach the heights of Into the Spider-Verse. And granted, I still say Into the Spider-Verse is the best theatrical Spider-Man movie ever released. But No Way Home was an event in a completely different way. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom on this. There's your big look. Gosh, look at it. All of this is sculpt, you guys. Okay. So first, our portrait. Now, this is older No Way Home Toby Peter. So he has the sort of darkness around his eyes. He's got that tiredness, that exhaustion, but the hair looks great. The portrait is undeniably creepy real. Just excellent. He has the slight butterfly joint shoulders. Penless design, so you don't have to worry about ugly blue pens or red pens, whichever they may be, interrupting the flow of the Spider-Man costume. The silver webbing is all sculpt, as is the spider on the front and on the back. He's got a torso. Oh, whoa! I was not expecting that much range out of that joint. That's wild. So he's got the combination of the hinge, which is about as unobtrusive as I have ever seen this joint look. In general, I'm opposed to the torso hinge or the rocker joint or whatever you want to call it, but they have worked this articulation into the sculpt so well. It's really impressive. And look at this. Even though this is just a double barbell, he's got a really nice range with that head. Very expressive. I mean, you can get, you know, a McFarlane web swinging look out of this if you so desire. Very impressive. Double jointed elbows that look pretty good, about as good as double jointed elbows can look. The wrists, you've got the up and down movement. And of course, he's got that fist for punching bad guys. And then an open hand, which is interesting because he's got kind of a Robin thing going on there, huh? I kind of like that. And then he also has alternate web shooting hands, which of course he has to have those. He must have them. He's got the drop down hips like a G.I. Joe classified figure. So the hip movement, I would say be careful. I can already see a stress mark there in that peg from me moving it around. So maybe warm those hips up before you mess with them too much. But you should be able to get any number of Spider-Manly poses out of this figure. Double jointed knees, really deep, and then standard modern articulation with a nice deep look at that. So they were very conscious of, we need to be able to make this Spider-Man so that he can do Spider-Man stuff. Like, are we going to get a squat out of this guy? Wow. He can do a pretty good Spider-Man squat. It could be better than that if I spend a little more time doing it, but we've got 2 more figures to look at. Wow. All right, so let's pop that head back off and take a look at the masked head. Even though, as we all know, all live-action Spider-Mans spend no less than 60% of the movie with their masks off. But look at that. Again, that range is so good for how simple that joint is. And it just goes to show, you know, one of my complaints about Classified is, look, there's actually a swivel. This neck. I wonder if this was originally going to have an exposed neck. Because look. Interesting. But I don't think it needs it. I'm fine with that. Anyway, my complaint about Classified is how they eliminated the pivot at the top of the neck. But look, you can have a great range of motion with just that double barbell. So there he is. There is our Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Looks incredible. Let's move on to Andrew Garfield, Mrs. Troublemaker's personal favorite Spider-Man. And she's not a huge Spider-Man fan in the first place. As you can see, this bubble is also jacked. So the plastic they're using on these bubbles, like, they've got the cardboard down, but now the plastic is becoming a problem. Because these were packed pretty carefully. I don't think Target put a lot of effort into jacking them up. Oh, you know, I didn't even read the back of the box, but you can see, no matter what evil rises, the Amazing Spider-Man will summon the courage to defeat it, for with great power comes great responsibility. No mention of No Way Home plot at all. All right, let's open up Andrew. This is so exciting for me because these movies were huge. The Tobey movies, you know, I was younger. That was 20-something years ago, so I wasn't even 30 yet. And seeing these, you know, Spider-Man was one of my guys. Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman. Like, when I was a kid, Those were my superheroes. And finally seeing an awesome live-action Spider-Man was just amazing. And then taking my son later to see The Amazing Spider-Man, just the whole live-action Spider-Man experience is something very special to me. All right, let's zoom in. We've got all of the same articulation, completely different body. However, let me stand Toby back up because we do want to compare heights and frames and bulks. And I didn't notice it before. I'm noticing just now there's no cut joint at the calf, which, thank goodness, that is another joint that I never need to see on another action figure ever again. It's just not necessary to me. If we could get rid of the one at the top of the thigh, I'd appreciate that as well. So there is... You can just see they're very different figures. Like, yes, they're both Spider-Man. They're both lean, muscular, athletic figures, but they are different. Andrew is a little leaner than Toby. They're different. It's great. It's amazing. It's amazing, right? Again, sculpted webs. Sculpted spider on the front and on the back. And he came with his web shooting hands as the default. He's got texture. So Toby had a texture on the blue portion of his costume. And you'll notice that Andrew has a different, deeper texture. Gosh, these are absolutely incredible. Oh, his hips are a little more willing to move than Toby's, which is a little surprising considering that scene in Spider-Man 3. They've even managed to hide the red of that joint kind of in the costume. They really, really put the work in on these figures. I'm beyond impressed. His butterfly joints work a little bit better. And he's got... Oh, his ankles don't seem to get quite as deep as the Toby figures. So we may not be as successful getting a really good squat. Yeah, isn't that interesting? His ankles just don't go as far forward as Toby's. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe they do. Okay, so there's a little trick, and maybe everybody knows it. Maybe it's not even a trick. If you turn the foot sideways and then push the hinge all the way up and then turn the foot back, you can often get a deeper angle than you can if you just leave the foot facing forward, because it'll push it up over that little joint right there. So, having done that, while this still isn't quite as satisfying as the Toby squat, it is still, I think, a pretty acceptable Spider-Man squat. Although I don't know if Andrew is going to maintain it as well as Toby did. Yeah, okay, there you go. Not quite as deep, but still pretty good Spider-Man squat. Portrait-wise, again, look at that. It's unbelievable. The hair, the over-the-top ridiculous hair. I mean, it's perfect. It couldn't be better. And I say it couldn't be better. 10 years from now, we're going to have stuff that looks even better than this, probably. But for modern standards, this is incredible. So there you go. There is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Let's take the head off and get that Spidey mask on. And I got to tell you right now, I do not know how I'm going to display these on the shelf, because I love the live-action spider suits so much. Man, that doesn't want to go on. I love the live-action spider suits so much, but these portraits are just incredible. I might have to heat this up to get this to work. Or not. I still don't know if it's all the way in, but we'll just leave it right there. So you can see the difference in those heads and the way that they work. Just the shape is different. And it's funny, I mean, Andrew really looks more like kind of a traditional Spider-Man than Tobey does. Man, that is super tight on that ball. But look, I mean, that's just a cool Spider-Man look. He looks great. All right, last one. It's time for little Tom, who I call little just because he's young, I guess. His blister is intact, but again, whatever. I'm opening all of these up. You can see the No Way Home Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Our friendly neighborhood web slinger is unmasked, no longer able to separate his life as a high schooler from the high-stakes world of being a superhero. Let's open him up. And one more thing about these this packaging. I love blister cards. I love, even though we're paying more for them technically, I love non-Build-A-Figure stuff. Oh, he's got extra hands compared to the other ones. I wonder if it's because they think they can get more use out of this sculpt or what the deal is. Because I'm noticing, and this wasn't totally apparent. Oh, he's got climbing hands. Oh, man. This wasn't totally apparent before. But this Spider-Man's suit also has sculpted webs. And I kind of thought they were just deco. But this is all... I knew the spiders were going to be sculpted. But the webs are all sculpted too. It's just that they're not as pronounced. They're thicker. But as far as how high they go from the suit, they're not as pronounced as the other Spider-Man's webs. So this, they couldn't conceal the red quite as well, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Hopefully he's got a nice deep ankle bend. Yeah, it looks pretty good. That's important to me. That is, as much as I'm not this figure better have super mega crazy articulation, but if you think about it, if you've been paying any attention to Needless Things for any amount of time, you know that what I usually say to justify my preference for lessened articulation is, look, not everybody is Spider-Man. But guess what? These guys are Spider-Man. So they better have a heck of a range of articulation to be acceptable Spider-Man figures. So first thing I gotta do is get that Spidey squat out of this one, because I got, I think, acceptable Spidey squats out of both the other ones. That knee doesn't want to move. Come on now. Sometimes it's hard to figure out how to even grip these things. That might get some heat, but I should be able to tell from that. Yeah, he's got enough ankle depth where once I break that knee loose. Oh, come on. I don't want to heat this up. I guess I'm going to have to. So same articulation, which I love that. Oh, and look at this. You've got like a total like McFarlane. Oh man. So can he get yes. Look at that. Look at that. These figures are amazing. So very much, or just like the end of No Way Home when Peter gets his new costume and like the saddest movie ending ever. This is a very nice bright red and an almost metallic blue. They've captured the look of that suit very well, I think. I felt like, when I saw that suit at the end of the movie for the first time, I felt like the only ones who were likely to really get the texture and the colors were Mezco. But I've got to say, Hasbro has done a fantastic job capturing the unique look of that spider suit. Obviously, again, I mean, look at that. We've had other Tom Holland portraits, but it's like a little tiny Tom Holland head. It's incredible. The hair looks great. I mean, this is unbelievable. So let's get our mask on, because I think that's how I'm going to have to display these. Maybe, and look, I got to think they've produced millions of these. I know people have been finding them in the stores, which also kind of gave me pause about, do I even want to review these? Because everybody probably already has them. But I was excited. They look great. I want to review good action figures, and these are great action figures. Look at that mask. Proportionally, just everything. These three figures, I was correct. These are three of the best, if not the three best, Marvel Legends figures that have ever been released. They are three of the best Spider-Man figures that have ever been released. This one could work in comics. This is probably the truest comics to life adaptation we have ever seen. I say that in the spur of the moment. Maybe I could do some research, look around, think about it for an hour or two, and I'd come up with something better. But I've got to tell you, as far as bringing a comic book costume into the real world, I think that Tom Holland suit from the end of No Way Home does it better than anything else we've ever seen. I don't see how anybody could resist buying these. Finding them in the store, which I have not seen them in the store yet. Like I said, I ordered mine from Target online. I have not yet seen them in the store. I know people have been finding them and Green Goblin, which I don't have yet. I'm kind of putting a pause on him because there's so much going on right now. I can wait on him, because Dr. Octopus is the one that is the must have for me, even though I do want both. But anyway, that's enough jibber jabber. I'm blown away by these figures. These are possibly going on my top 10 of 2023 list, like as a single entry, I think, if I do that, which isn't totally fair, but I try and pull from different lines, and I don't want these three taking up 3 slots on my list, but these are excellent. These figures, I mean, these could be the top, the top of 2023. They're that good. Again, I don't see how you could walk by them in the store and not buy them, not purchase them. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. Top 10 of 2023 coming very, very soon, because this is right now, these are in my bank. I probably recorded this like 2 weeks before you're even seeing it. So top 10 of 2023 is any day now. Other toy reviews all year long, completely different toy lines, new toys I love to review, but of course tons of G.I. Joe, tons of horror stuff. But sometimes when Marvel Legends really kill it, I'll look at Marvel Legends. Thanks for watching. Look at them. Look at them.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.